Yo, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to Party with Friends. It's your boy, brother Guy. We're back again with another recap of UFC Strickland versus Anthony Hernandez, as well as one Friday Fights 143. Before I get into it, guys, please drop a like, share, and subscribe to the channel. How's my audio sounding so trashy? Please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Audio clicks does help the channel grow quite a bit. I also want to touch base on some news that regarded over the last weekend. As you guys may have known, if you are residents here at Fighting with Friends, you will know that our live watch along of One Friday Fights 143 got shut down literally within like the first two fights of the fight card. So again, I want to make an apology for that one more time. It wasn't we didn't do our due diligence when it came to doing the titling of that episode. So we got a copyright infringement for our one championship because we used the same title for the video as they did. That's just the complete balls up on our side. We didn't double check the title. So yeah, unfortunately, the one championship then basically filed a complaint and then had our live stream cut before we even got into the business. You know what I'm saying? But okay, we took the weekend off. We had to go and sort that out. We had to go and do the right thing. Contact the right people and make sure that it doesn't happen again. So to fix that, what we thought over the weekend, myself and Adrian had the conversation, and we came to the conclusion that what we're going to do this weekend is give you guys a back-to-back live stream. We're going to do one Friday Fights 144, and then we're also going to be live for the UFC Brandon Moreno and Lonnie Kavanaugh. And I know it's a bit of a shitty card for the UFC. It's not really. I would have suggested to do the card over the previous weekend, but because I wasn't necessarily in the best of spaces for it, my mind wasn't there. I wasn't completely into doing another live stream because of having to deal with the copyright infringement. Now that we know what the problem was, we know how to correct it. So what we're going to do this week is give you guys a double stream this weekend. So keep a lookout for that, guys. We'll be live on Friday, and then will be live Sunday morning South African time, which will probably be like a daytime or the evening for the Saturday for some of the guys out in the US. But okay, boys, ladies, I want to give a big thank you to those in the comments as well. That was on X. We got some cool people in the community. You know who you are that reached out to us. My heart goes out to all of you. Thank you so much for that support. You guys have really made myself and Adrian be quite thankful and appreciative for every single one of you, that you guys make us feel important. Not that we don't feel important, we have people in our lives, but it gives us the joy and the willingness and the juice to want to keep doing this for you guys and for ourselves. So much love to all of you. Big thank you. But okay, we are here today to break down the fight cards that took place over the weekend, particularly with UFC and One Championship. I'm going to begin with One Championship, but I feel like there was a lot more that gone on at that One Championship's card this Friday, which generated a buzz, generated a conversation amongst the fans online, and I think we should get stuck into it. There was a lot of debate going around some of the decisions on the fight card, lots of split decisions, and you know what that means. Whenever there's split decisions, it always divides the fan base. Because some people agree and disagree, but I think that's just comes with the territory if you think about it this way. So let's get into it, and we'll break it down. So the main card of One Friday Fights 143, we saw Vero from the Myanmar hopeful taking on Shir Cohen, which is one of the up-and-comers of the atomweight divisions. I say up-and-comers, but I mean, like, in my opinion, she's probably the prospect. Because she's still relatively young, 25 years old, undefeated in one, and she lost this fight. And it caused a bit of an uproar. And I saw on X as well, there was a lot of sort of riff-raff going around the judging at this fight card. And I saw pictures that were being posted. Thank you for ESR for sharing the pictures, my friend. Of people in the stadiums using binoculars, looking at the judging scorecards, looking at in between the fights, so they are able to make bets before the fights are even finished. And I mean, that's obviously not a problem, but I mean, making the bet motivated by looking at judges scorecards halfway through the fights is a little bit shocking. A little bit shocking. And also, I must be honest, some of the fights on the fight card, I had to watch the fight card back twice, because when it was live, I just couldn't pay attention. My mind was all over the place. So I had to watch it back to make sure that I wasn't just falling into the online sort of debate about who won and who didn't win, and who was robbed, who wasn't robbed. And the big one about this fight was that apparently Shir Cohen got robbed. Now, at first glance, when I watched the fight, I was like, I thought Shir Cohen won 2 rounds. I thought she did a fantastic job in round 2 and 3, pushing Vero back, high volume, and kind of just leading the dance, if you will. But then I watched the fight back again, and I can actually understand why they gave it to Vero, Nika. I have to be honest, right? You can't be biased when you watch these fights. It's difficult to sometimes put your feelings aside when you support a fighter through and through. But I've learned to let that go. Even like and that took me a long time to get to that point. The big turning point for me was when I had to watch Max Holloway lose to Ilia Topuria. I was like, dude, your best guys are gonna lose. No matter no matter how much you support them, you have to be honest with yourself when you realize that the guy you support the most, the lady you support the most, isn't going to be the best always. They're gonna fight someone that's just gonna beat them, right? And you have to learn to do all that. In this fight, I didn't really have anyone that I was supporting, just the fact that I like both fighters, right? And watching the fight back, to be quite honest with you guys, I think Vero did enough to win the fight. And the reason why I'm saying this is whenever you guys, if you watch me breakdown fights, right, you've seen me react to fights as well. And I always say this a lot. When a fighter that's on the front foot that's got a lot of pressure and they're backing up their opponent, right? That's fantastic. You're doing a great job. You should be leading the dance by doing that. But I think where it becomes tricky and where optics is coming into play here is what are you doing with that pressure, right? Because the number one criteria to score on is damage, affected damage, right? Shir Cohen had a lot of pressure, but she didn't really damage Vero. She hit her, and I think a lot of Cohen's damage came from the second round, where she landed a lot of fantastic shots on Vero, like really hurt her. In the third round, that wasn't the case. She had a lot of pressure, but there was a lot of like and pushing her hands all up into Vero's face, but never really connected anything cleanly. She did a lot of takedowns in the third round, which I thought was strange. I was like, why is she wrestling so much in the third round, which is also not really helping her own case. I felt that if Cohen had to stay like she was doing in the second round and keeping her within mid range and popping her from that sick, not necessarily going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 clinch, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 clinch, 1, 2, 3, 4, clinch, and then trying to shoot for takedowns. That for me, you're not winning the fight doing that, because in those exchanges when she's going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, she's doing all that stuff. Vero's hitting her, boom, 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 tagging her, clean stuff. If you look at her face at the end of the fight, like you could see the damage was on her face. Like Vero did catch her cleanly every time she came in, right? Even in those exchanges where Cohen was leading the dance and she was making these chaotic moments in the fight, she came out second best in those moments. And this is a big thing that I always say about fighters that's on the back foot. If you are going to be on the back foot, you need to ensure that whatever you're going to throw needs to land. Because if being on the back foot is you're already losing the fight, secondly, right? And now if you've been out struck, you're losing the fight even more. You know what I mean? So if you're going to be the back foot fighter, those guys will do it well. If you're going to be the back foot fighter, you need to be pristine. You need to be so flawless that whatever your opponent's going to throw at you 3, 4, 5 shots, you need to crack them so hard that they're scared to do it again. And also you need to make them miss. You need to make them not hit you. Going backwards, patty, block, get out of the way. Pah, pah. There's another fighter that fought in this fight called Yoshida Kosei from Japan, 19-year-old kid. He fought against a guy who was heavy pressured against him, lots of forward momentum, and he made him miss every single time, outstruck him every single moment of that fight. So for Cohen, for me in this fight, I thought she did a fantastic job at asserting that pressure, at keeping Vero on the back foot for round 2 and round 3, but she fell short with making that pressure successful, making it lead to something that could give her the points. So if she had maybe dropped Vero with that pressure, if she had tagged hard body shots, which she didn't do, by the way, which I thought was a bit weird, if she had really hurt Vero and made Vero not get any success, it would be a little bit different, right? But because she was putting the pressure on and then still getting hit in those moments, still getting pretty much beaten up while coming forward, it makes it tricky for the judges to go, I want to give it to her, but she's actually not landing anything significant. And I saw a post by again, ESR and X talking about these judges, and you were saying hopefully they can change this. I don't know if you guys know, but the judges that are judging at one championship aren't professional judges. They are actually the referees of the game. If you watch them carefully, you'll see, watch the fights back, and you look who's sitting in the corners of each side of each of the ring, of the squared circle, and look who's writing down and scoring. It's the fucking referees. It's the other referees of the organization. So they're having the referees doubling up as two jobs in the night. They're either refereeing the night or they're going to be judging some of the cards. So it's like, yes, in essence, they should have the understanding to be the judge. I get that, but remember, please correct me in the comment section if I'm wrong here. I don't think that the referees are judging at the UFC. I didn't research this before we went on before doing this recording. So please do me a favor and correct me if I'm wrong or back me up if I'm right with this. But I don't think that referees are judging in the UFC. Now I saw this pattern a lot in one championship. I saw it throughout last year. I didn't make a thing of it, but I'm noticing it now more frequently. The referees on the Friday Fights cards are the judges of those Friday Fights cards. So I don't know if that has got something to say. But yeah, sometimes the judging is not actually most weeks the judging is not great at one championship. But now that I know that the referees are also judging, it makes a lot of sense to me as to why we're potentially getting those things wrong. And then also, I personally felt that some of the decisions on this fight card today over the weekend wasn't even the judges' fault. I felt like some of the fighters didn't fight the way they normally fight. It was like they almost threw some of the fights, if that makes sense. And now I'm hearing post-fight card that there was sort of match fixing involved with the scorecard. So all I'm saying is, at the end of the day, this kind of stuff should not be happening when you this much into your 10 years as a business. My championship has been around for many years. This kind of stuff should not be conversations at this stage of them being around, right? So I find it a little bit of an amateur hour we think about it. But anyway, coming back to the fight, I think in the first round, Vero really put on some good pace on Cohen, backed her up, really put some powerful shots on her. The only thing I don't like about Vero is that she doesn't use her legs enough. Now, if you're going to be a primary boxer in there, she's going to be a boxing heavy fighter, then at least use your feet to have fantastic footwork. At least. You know what I mean? Vero doesn't kick much. So I would love to see her use that foot. If you're not going to kick with it, then at least be light on your feet and move and make it difficult for your opponent to actually land on you. Right? Vero is such a powerful fighter, such a heavy, durable-based fighter. And she just goes in there with a stiff guard. She just walks in there and like takes shots and hits you back. When she hits you back, she knows she's going to hit you harder, right? That's got her a lot of success throughout our career. I do believe that going forward in this sport, she beat Shir Cohen now. She talked about getting a title shot after this. If you think about the titles, the champions in the division, right? You got Pejija and you got Lisha Rodriguez. I know one's kickboxing, the other one's Muay Thai, but they're both essentially competing in Muay Thai. In my opinion, I think Vero will get exposed in fighters like that against Pejija, for example. Pejija is just a younger, more vibrant version of Vero. And then you got Rodriguez, who still pretty much hasn't even touched the prime at 27 years old. In my opinion, also can put the pace on Vero and take her out. I want to see more from Vero. I don't want to see her rely on power. She got backed up by a younger fighter in Shir Cohen for 2 rounds, and then relied on good sharp counters, which is good. The experience carried her through the fight. But, it's a big but, Shir Cohen is kickboxing nature style, right? She's not throwing elbows. She's not throwing teeps to her to the same way the Japanese kickboxers do. That she's not using the full array of Muay Thai. She's more of a kickboxing fighter. Watch her combos when she goes in there. Dance, kick, dance, kick. Right? It's very kickboxing nature. I don't know if that style is something that's gonna give Shir Cohen success when it comes to fighting against like a Pachija or Rodriguez. Right? I don't think you're gonna get success against them like that. They will walk right through that and they will smash you. And that's the same thing with Vero. Vero was able to get backed up by Shir Cohen. I think Rodriguez and Pejija will back up even more devastating than that. Might even get the finish because fucking Liu Mingrui was able to drop Vero. And Liu Mingrui is also an okay boxer. She's not like world class, but she's also aggressive and got good boxing. And she was able to knock Vero down. So I'm saying lesser fighters have beaten Vero. Vero, I like her. I do like her vibe. She's one of the most humble people to look at and to talk about. Which is whenever she's on an interview, I'm like, yo, what a lovely person she is. But I find her fight style to be a little bit, what's the word? There's not enough finesse for me. It's like she's got like maybe 2 or 3 weapons that's all she throws and that's what she relies on. And it gets her a lot of wins. But I feel like someone that's got so much more to deal with. I mean, so much more to offer. That can give you so many more things to worry about. I think Vero will get outclassed there. So yeah, hopefully she gets some kind of contendership or title shot. If she does deserve it, but I just don't know if she's gonna get success against those two queens of the division. For Shir Cohen, she doesn't have to think so much about the loss. It's a devastating loss. I know she felt that she won. I feel like she needs to do more. What I want to see from Cohen is add more devastating shots to that fancy footwork that she's got. She's got very good footwork. She can move around very well. She can keep herself out of danger really well. But when she goes forward, I want to see her look for. She's got the volume. She's got good outside low kicks. But now I want to see her introduce some like 2 or 3 kill shots in her. Maybe a hard left body shot or a hard left hook like the way the way Rodriguez has one. Stand over the overhand right. I want to see her add something to her arsenal that's got a higher caliber of a shot in it, not just the pop shots, boom, 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 and then allowing winning on the to win on volume. I want to see her add a killer blow to her arsenal. Even when she does that 5-punch combination and then ends with a kick. Maybe don't end with the kick. Maybe you go with the 5th shot and you lunge forward into a clinch and then bang up elbow and you stay there and you some devastating knees. I want to see her add something into her arsenal that can get finishes, that can get her at least not even a knockout. Don't even think about that. If she can get a knockdown at the very least. I don't think she's got that in her arsenal at the moment. I think she's got a high volume game, but I want to see her sit down on some of her shots. Like really try and punch the hole through your opponent's face. Like, take the head off the shoulders. I want to see her try and do that. Because the other contenders and or at least the champions, they've got that killer blows. They can put you away with one shot. So she's going to need something like that when she gets into the higher caliber of opponents. But great win for Vero. I know there's an uproar. I know people feel like they lost. I myself had gone with Shir Cohen on a parlay. And I wasn't too gutted by the decision because when I had to watch it back, I was like, yeah, I can see Vero winning this fight. She did land the cleaner shots over the course of 3 rounds. Yes, she was backed up a lot of the times, but her shots were landing cleaner and with more power to it. Whereas Cohen was creating a lot of volume, but never really landing. She did land, but not enough. Not enough, in my opinion. But okay, I'm sure we will see them throw down again in the future. I don't think Shir Cohen has got anything to sulk about. I know she was quite emotional on the night, but I feel like, dude, you're 25 years old. You're a talented young fighter. I think Cohen's literally going to be back in the mix. If the one championship is smart, I would say keep her around. You can pull the star out of her. Oh, you know what I mean? She can become a little bit of she can become a prospect or at least a title contender if you just be patient with her. Good win. I think her next fight should be Gabriel Moram, in my opinion. But okay, let's keep it moving. Let me know in the comment section what you guys think. I know a lot of you guys are probably going to say, what is BG smoking? How can you think that she lost the fight? But guys, do yourself a favor and watch the fight back again with no sound on. Put the audio off. Watch it back without any biased goggles. Just watch the fight for the fight. I mean, you'll see what I mean. But for now, let's go to the co-main event. I've got another fight card to get through. All right, co-main event. We had Dan Krian. Wait, hold on. Before we start the co-main event, let's do this. Okay. Dan Krian, he took on Pet Apichat. Apichat, if I'm not mistaken, he's a Joe. Yeah, there we go. Apichat Muay Thai. So that I don't know if that's actually his name. His name is just Pet. Pet Apichat, flyweight Muay Thai. He lost this fight to Dan Krian by a split decision. I think that's a fair result because as much as I thought Dan Krian won every round, I don't think it was definitive. I think there were rounds in there that you can make big arguments for Pet Apichat to win. And I thought there was going to be a tricky fight for Denk. I had him winning. I had him winning the fight. Going into the fight, but I did say to DSPV and I said to some of the boys, it's like, but I think Pet Apichat will pose some threats to him, even though it's going to be an opposite stance. So I don't think Pet Apichat's going to be able to land the low kicks as much as you want, but he's a low kick specialist, and specialists make a way. So I felt that he was going to find a way to still land those kicks, regardless of the fact that Dinkan Kai is fighting out of the southpaw stance. I thought he was still going to be able to manage inside low kick, outside low kick. I thought he was going to find that range anyway. And he did that. He did find targets. But Dinkan Kai, for the most part of the fight, managed that. Whenever Pet Apichat wanted to come in for a low kick, he would blast a high kick, poof, left high kick. Or just throw a nice left straight down the pipe. Poof, catches Pet Apichat, which forces Apichat to go into a clinch because he didn't want to take those shots. Pet Apichat, great low kick specialist, but doesn't box really well. There was moments in there where he had flurries, where he would flurry the shots. Right, but then you just roll with him. elbow, catch him in the clinch, knee, get out of the way, reset the stance or reset the positioning, and then get back to work again. I think Deng Liang Kai landed the better boxing throughout the 3 rounds. Okay, he had very good body kicks and high kicks to occupy Pit Uppercut on defense, or whenever he wanted to come forward, he's a high kick. And whenever Pit Uppercut would throw his low kicks, Deng Liang Kai took them, or sometimes he would check them. And whenever Deng Liang Kai was backed up against the rope and had to deal with a floodie from Pit Uppercut, he just basically defended all of that, parried most of it, and then just reversed him every single time. And I thought, okay, that was a very good display from Deng Liang Kai. Didn't get the finish, right? I don't know if split decision is the right decision. I thought it was unanimous. I thought he won every round, in my opinion. Even the round 2, where I did think Uppercut did a great job in round 2 to make it competitive, he still lost that round because, again, he only used the low kicks. The boxing wasn't successful because Deng Liang Kai was able to defend all of it, bounce, roll with all those shots and tag him back. And then also, there was moments. It wasn't like there wasn't in like a long period of each round where Pit Uppercut could dominate that space like that. There's actually, in fact, it was the other way around. I think Deng Liang Kai had a lot more minutes in each round, back in Uppercut, Pit Uppercut, hurting him, putting some hurt on him. The boxing was sharp. The offense, whenever he needed to throw some kicks, was there. There was just a lot more moments, a lot more periods in the fight where Deng Liang Kai dominated, and that's why I thought he won the fight. But I would love to see Pit Uppercut come back. Honestly, I'd love to see him fight again in one championship. This was his debut in small ounce gloves in Muay Thai. So, dude, I think he would do a good job. I don't know if I can see him as like a champion in the small gloves because he doesn't box that much. Even the elbows, when they're in the clinch, he wasn't throwing elbows. He was going knee, separate, low kick, throw out a jab, knee, or low kick. I want to see him use those hands. You in 4 ounce gloves, bro. You know what I mean? You crack someone with that stuff, it's going to drop them as opposed to the 8 ounces or the 12 ounces. I think I'd love to see him work on the boxing a little bit more. And if you're not going to box, then at least use some clinch elbows. You know what I mean? The leg kicks will set that up. But Deng Liang Kai has definitely leveled up over the last 5 fights in his career so far at one championship. And that's probably why he won this fight. He used a good array of weapons, elbows, straight boxing, low kicks, high kicks, body shots, and the movement of his footwork that stayed out of danger. I think Deng Liang Kai fought a great fight. And guys, this man's leveling up. He's leveling up. I want to see more of him. I want to see a lot more of him grow. Give me your thoughts in the comment section. Who do you think this guy should be fighting next? I'm not so much concerned about Uppercut, about who he should be fighting next. This was his debut. But Deng Liang Kai, interesting, right? Because the flyweight division is really like there's a massive pool of fighters that are not contracted that he could go up against. But it must be someone that's in and around contract contention as well. I'm not too sure who, but you guys can let me know in the comment section. Right, let's keep it moving, boys and ladies. Let's go. Yeah, I'm not going to spend too much time on this one. I thought this fight was a bit of a mismatch. Liang Tet Ang, don't know anything about the young man. Didn't see him. Didn't find any tape on the guy. So yeah, there's a little bit of like, one just found some random brew out there, lit away, and said, "Listen, come." And it looked like they were worlds apart. They weren't even closely matched when it came to skill set. And Wan Chanwei took him 3 rounds to get the finish. It felt like he was playing with his food in there. Honestly, it was a complete mismatch of a fight. There was nothing that Liang Tet Ang could do. Absolutely nothing. Like anything that he threw, it wasn't even tickling Wan Chanwei. Wan Chanwei, every single weapon that he threw, the low kicks, the left body kicks, it was so devastating. They were impacted. It landed like it created this loud sound. And every time Liang Tet Ang took those shots, you could see the reaction out of him was like, he was just like, "What the fuck is this? What are you hitting me with?" You know what I mean? You could see the reaction was, he didn't want anything to do with it. And the poor man just stuck it around for 3 rounds. I was surprised that we didn't see any white flags thrown in after the second round already because he was just getting a beat down. And in the third round, Wan Chanwei, I can't even tell you what specifically he did other than just being physically bigger, stronger, more imposing, faster. He fought out of the southpaw stance, and what he mainly was doing was just blasting body kicks and high kicks. And Liang Tet Ang didn't know what to do with it. Even when Tet Ang came in to box with him, and Wan Chanwei would just slip left straight. And bro, just the reaction that I saw from Tet Ang was like, I don't think he's gonna win this fight. From the first round, I was like, I don't think he's gonna get any success in this fight. And in the third round, a good finish from Wanchan where he hit the body really well. Bang, bang, two-piece to the body shot. Dropped him through another knee to finalize the sequence and gets the third round TKO. Big win to Wanchan Wei. He's making me remember him. But I do believe that he fought against someone that I don't think in this lifetime he was going to lose to Linktree. I just couldn't see it. It almost felt like they were different weight classes, even the way they looked. And when I saw Ang, I was like, he looks like he's 17 years old. His body looks so frail and so small. I was like, I didn't understand how this fight even got matched up. But anyway, big win for Wanchan Wei in terms of his display. I won't say it's a big win in terms of taking out a big name. I just think his display on the night was nice to watch. Give him that. But I can't really speak on anything else, to be honest with you. But I want to see Wanchan Wei again. Maybe next time they give him someone with a little bit more competition, someone that can actually match him. You know what I mean? It'll be nice to watch. But okay, guys, we will keep it moving. Yeah. So staying in the flyweight Muay Thai, that would be a good fight. Lam Singh versus Deng Kriang Krai. I think that would be a very good fight. If I'm not mistaken, they actually fought. Let me just double check. I think they might have thrown down already. Yeah, Lam Singh won by unanimous decision. So, and considering where they are in their careers right now, both guys aren't contracted, but they're like that close. I would say let the run back happen because the first fight was arguably, I wouldn't say there was no robbery. Lam Singh did win the fight, but neither guy got finished. It was competitive. I'd love to see them throw down again, and this time it would be for a contract. It would be fantastic to kind of see who gets that contract there. But anyway, going to Lam Singh, this fight was probably the most predictable fight on the fight card for me. If anyone knows Plai Payak that watches our channel, or if you watch Plai Payak and you watch Lam Singh, you would have known that there was an outside chance for Plai Payak to win this fight, but that chance was like slim pickings. It was a very, very low chance that he was going to get it, but the outside chance was there. And it was looking like it was going that way, right? Because there was that thing of, okay, Plai Payak is so tall, right? The guy is 6 foot something in the flyweight division. Tall and lanky, loves to play the clinch game, right? What they call Muay Kao, I think. I'm learning the terms not just for the different types of Muay Thai specialists. I think I might be incorrect with that term again. But he's a clinch specialist. Like, he wants to get in there, use the leverage of that clinch and let the knees go because he doesn't have to lift his knee up that high to hit people in the head. And there was one knee, he did land on Lam Singh like that. I was like, yo, he doesn't have to lift his leg up very high to get the knees. But, and this was the big but, I said this in the preview with ESR as well. I said, I know that there's an outside chance. The SPV also said that there's an outside chance. But I said, he's just way too sloppy when he gets into the clinch. He doesn't protect himself. The hands are out here, grabbing from far ranges. And I'm like, he's not protecting himself, right? You can get into the clinch. I personally feel like you can get into the clinch by working your way into it, right? He's so much taller than Lam Singh. I would love to see him blast bloody high kicks and body kicks, tips, forcing Lam Singh up against him so he can't move anywhere. Lam Singh's go-to move is to overhand left or right whenever he's getting backed up, especially a taller fighter that wants to look for the clinch. He's going to look for that shot. So what I would love to have seen Plai Payak to do is to work his way in. Once Lam Singh was back up against the ropes, then come in with the jab, but keep the hand in there. Make elbow. Now once you throw the elbow, you in there. Now you got the clinch. You know what I mean? He didn't do any of that. His hands were out here flailing like I don't know what the fuck he was actually doing. He was flailing, his arms were up in the air, not protecting himself. Goes for a clinch, but then leaves his head exposed like this while grabbing. And I'm like, bro, tuck it in behind the shoulder. Like, you need to be able to roll. The punches, the counter's gonna come. You need to be able to anticipate that counter. And he didn't anticipate fuck all. He walked straight into that shot and got knocked out. Or the person was a knockdown, and the second one, as he got up, he just ran forward and ran into another. Again, ran forward, his hands out over here. Don't know why he didn't keep his guard up. Ran out here, boom, takes another shot, goes to the ground. I'm like, the most predictable performance of the night. Like, that was the one fight, like, you bet your entire life savings and you were going to get paid out by it because there was no way I saw Plai Payak winning the fight. That outside chance for me was like, just too slim. I didn't think he was going to get it. Because Lam Singh, even though Lam Singh had a bit of a questionable win against Kasan Salimov, because prior to that, Lam Singh was doing really well. He was outboxing a lot of guys, and it's also how he beat the Kasanov brother, and he used his footwork to stay away, right? In this fight, the same thing happened. Well, not in the Kasanov fight, but I mean, Lam Singh had the power advantage. He had the more precise boxing. All he really had to do in this fight was wait for the timing. Payak fights in such a way that he gives you those targets. So you just had to wait for it, and it was going to come there, and he'll get him with it, and that's what he did. So, yeah, big win for Lamsik. I would love to see him maybe get a run back with someone he lost against, or if not that, I would say Denkrankrai is there, bruh. Either one of them can make a shot for a contract if they win that fight. So I would say let that fight happen. Payak, can't say I want to see him come back once with you because he needs to level up that game. And I think fighting in the bigger gloves, 5 rounds Muay Thai is probably where it's best for him. Also in the bigger gloves, he can take the shot, right? It's a lot more padding. He can take that shot. In the small gloves, I don't think he's gonna do well here. I think he'll get KO'd every time he does that because either he needs to go back to the gloves, or he needs to bigger gloves, or he needs to change the way he fights in terms of how to protect himself and how to get to that clinch position, and not just make it this wild thing. I'm sure if you put me into like a 3-month camp in Muay Thai, and I'll probably fight against Payak and put in a performance against him, bro. It's because of that style. It's not a buzz. But anyway, let me know what you guys think about that fight in the comment section. Let's go. Okay, we are about 30 minutes in now, so I'm going to speed run the next couple of fights because I still want to get through to the UFC fight card. Elena Loladze versus Sarah Mahmoud. Shout out to Elena Loladze. She followed us on Instagram. She posted our stuff on her story. Also reached out to us on via direct message. I sent her a message saying good luck for the fight. Looking forward to see you perform. Wishing you all of the best. And she was responding obviously with a heartfelt like thank you so much for the support. Then reshared everything to her social media as well. And I did think she was gonna win the fight. Once with you, I thought that she was gonna be too fast, too tall, too much of a tornado in there. Mahmoud, she's a heavy hitter. She's a bit of a slugger, right? Loves to get the clinch. Got some jiu-jitsu and experience, some Muay Thai experience, but doesn't fight it. It doesn't carry over into MMA. It just doesn't, or at least for her, it doesn't. And I felt that she wasn't. I just felt that she wasn't able to deal with the fight. If she can't outbox you, which is most cases, she shoot for a takedown. If she can't get the takedown, she's gonna clinch with you up against the ropes. That's all she's gonna do. She's not gonna do anything else but that. The Latse is too dynamic for her to even get close to be able to do that. The Latse was able to piece her up on the feet, take her down at will, look for submissions, never really got them. I feel like that's a little bit of inexperience. I think over time, the Latse will be a little bit more better, more devastating than what we saw this past weekend. But I felt that the height and the speed and the youthfulness about her was going to carry her through this fight, and it did exactly that. So well done to Loladze. This fight here between Anon and T.I. Strawweight Muay Thai, I thought this fight was fun, especially because of who they are. I mean, Anon only had 2 fights prior, and he won both fights by finish. He's a very good boxer, good counter striker, especially when he goes forward. I think the way Anon puts space on his opponents and keep them there and keep them on the ropes, he does it really well. Sometimes he gets a little bit too aggressive and get tagged. That's what happened against a fight against Gianni. He got too bit aggressive and then got caught coming in. And this fight was exactly the same. I think T.I. changed the way that he fights in this fight. T.I. didn't start slow, which is what he did for the last 6 fights of his UFC contract. He starts slow every time. I think this fight, he had to do something different. And I heard in the commentary booth that there was an interview with him where he was saying that this is it for him. This is like, if he loses here, he doesn't know what to do next. This is because he's on a 4-fight slide. So he was like, I have to get a win. I have to do something different here. Otherwise, One Championship was not going to call me back. And he started differently. He got backed up, but he was outlanding Anon. The low kicks that he was throwing throughout that first round. Oh, the calf kicks, you could see it was hurting Anon. The boxing, he had sharp counters when he was going backwards. But the big difference for me is that T.I. didn't wait to start the fight. He actually started from the first round. He actually fought Anon in that first round. And I was like, okay. And then I think he got the knockdown in that first round as well, right? Which led to Anon being so aggressive in the second round, looking to fish for that KO. Anon was looking hard for that knockout blow in the second round, which then ultimately led to his demise. T.I. I think has more power than him, but a little bit of a slower puncher. Whereas Anon's got more volume, but still has a lot of power. But T.I. was a lot more accurate in this fight. His timing was absolutely perfect. It's like he waited for Anon. It's like he knew Anon was going to come rushing after that first knockdown. So he just kind of thought, you know what? I've done the damage already. I kicked you a lot in the first round. I beat up your front leg. You're looking like you don't want to take it anymore. In fact, Anon did switch to a southpaw stance because he couldn't take those front kicks anymore. And that's what led to the knockout, because then he darted forward in the southpaw stance where T.I. just stepped back like halfway to the right, caught his right hand, slipped him. Also, I want to shout out to the referee. He had a fantastic display in timing that knockdown, that knockout, and caught Anand's head just before it actually hit the ground, and it didn't hit the ground. It was like caught his head, waved the fight off. Beautiful display of both brutality from Ti, but also elegance from the referee to catch Anand before any sort of extra damage to his head. But big win for Ti. He needed that. My guy was on a losing streak, and I'm happy to see him win. I'm happy to see, even though I picked against him, I'm happy to see him win because prior to the 4 fight losses, um, I was like, Ti is good. This guy's got some power in the strawweight division. He's really, really good, but he takes so long. And every time I wanted him to win, he gets outstruck because of how long it takes to get going. So I was like, I don't know if I can continue to support the guy because it's like there's now 4 fights in a row now that you haven't changed the way that you fought. And in this fight, he just came out differently. So he's back. He's back. I want to say it now. The guy's back. I need more of that from Ti. I want to see him start like that. Start fast. These guys can't hold you, bro. They don't have the same kind of pop that he has in this division. Start fast. You will get the win. You will get the KOs. Letting the guys beat you up over the first 2 rounds. You've lost 2 rounds. You can't rely on a knockout shot in the later round. They've already beat you up 2 rounds. They can probably do it again in the 3rd round. You know what I mean? So I'm happy to see that kind of performance from Ti. He deserved that win. I think we got a bonus as well. So big ups for Ti. Let's go. Let's keep it for the next one, boys. Let's go. Okay, so Michael Baranov and Shoma. Baranov making his debut in kickboxing. Fought against, I'm going to be honest now, I had no idea who the Shoma is. And to be straight up, I thought that the performance from Shoma was absolutely terrible. Terrible. He looked like he doesn't even want to fight, bro. He looked like every punch that he's throwing it like he doesn't want to hit his opponent. Like he's hitting, but he's like moving away. He's like, yeah. There's a jab and runs away while throwing a jab. It's like, what are you doing, bro? Put your body in the shot, like hurt him. Baranov, I know he's young. I know he's a good fighter, but Baranov for me is also like, I don't know if he's got the stuff, guys. I just don't know if he's got the stuff. His finish was great. He could have ended the fight in the first round already, but he didn't do that. 3rd round, he threw a nice stepping knee, dropped Shoma, but at that point, Shoma was already cracked. Like he was beaten up badly before that already. Baranov did a very good job at throwing some Muay Thai types of kicks. The way he threw his body kicks and high kicks was Muay Thai-esque. His boxing was sharp, display. I thought he fought a flawless fight, but I'm not sold on his performance. I'm not sold on buying into him just yet because when he has fought in Muay Thai, he hasn't really held his own. I know he's a former Muay Thai champion, but outside of one, I want to see him stick to the Muay Thai gloves. I don't want to see him kickbox again. Not that he sucks at it, but he beat someone that, let's be honest, you were supposed to beat him 50 times out of 50. Like Shoma's never gonna beat Baranov. That kind of fight style of Shoma, the way Shoma performed that on this fight here, it's the first time I watched Shoma fight, and couldn't find any information on the guy. There's like so many Shomas when you look up the name. TSPV was saying he sucks. We're watching the performance and I understand why he said that. I don't know if Shoma is an actual fighter. To be straight up with you guys, I think it's more of a facade. Michael Baranov, great win, but I think he's gonna have to fight like better contenders. I don't think he's gonna grow by beating up a fucking model. You know what I mean? So yeah, well done to Baranov, but I think he deserves to fight actual contenders and not fake fighters. Let's keep it moving. Fakhreddin Kasanov lost to Yoshida Kusai. Kusai, probably the performance of the fight card for me. I think he's the fighter. All the fights I've watched, I think his performance is the one that stood out for me the most. He didn't get the finish, but he had a 3-0 beatdown of Kasanov, who, by the way, fought regularly at RWS. He's got a 45-5 Muay Thai record, a 45-6 Muay Thai record. So he's got experience for a young man. He's also a very good kickboxer, so he moves a lot. He's difficult for people to track down. He's got nice kicks as well. But like I said all week, he does slow down in the later rounds. And if you watch Yoshida Kusai's fights, I've only saw him fight once in one championship, and I was like, fuck me, this kid is good. Right? Not a lot of power, but I mean, he's only 19 years old. He's also kickboxing. Guys don't really get a lot of knockouts in kickboxing. Unless they're doing a lot of tips and head kicks and shit like that. But like in terms of like being knocked out by a punch, it's not the most frequent thing. I'm not saying it's impossible, it's not the most frequent. And Yoshida, I think, as you get older, he'll probably get a lot more powerful than what he is, but fuck, he fights well. He reminds me of Hugh, who's fighting in 2 weeks' time. I think it is 2 or 3 weeks' time. Yoshida tall for flyweight, but the skill set, dude, on this young man, the leg kicks, the boxing style. I mean, he was taunting Kasanov in rounds 2 and 3. He made it look so easy. The body shots, the shot selection makes me feel like, yo, he's got the years of experience and he's only 19 years old. So I like what he did. He shut down everything from Kasanov. Kasanov had a very good first round, but he still lost the first round. And then Yoshida just outclassed him. The footwork from Yoshida is what made him win the fight for me. The footwork helped him stay away from Kasanov's danger. It also helped him set up his big shots, the right straights, the left liver shots, the right low kicks, the left switch high kick. He was just doing everything that Kasanov just didn't know how to do with it. Then he outboxed him and taunted him, and I was just like, I mean, Kasanov taunted back at him, but Yoshida didn't even respond to the taunt by like taunting him back. He was just like, whenever Kasanov would do this to the chin or like shake his head, then Yoshida just hits him harder. Poof! Show me you do something about that. So, yeah, I thought Yoshida had the best performance of the night for me. And I think in due time, he's going to be a big name. He's going to be a big name. Now, will he be a champion? I don't know. It's too early to say. But I do believe that over time, he's going to, if invested correctly by one championship, I think he's going to be a top name to watch in the future. Just watch him. Just check him out. I thought his performance was the best of the night for me. But okay, we keep it moving, guys, to the next fight. Pechayut, he beat Masatoshi Hirai. I thought he fought a good fight. I thought the Hirai took too long. Again, took too long to work his way into the fight. Pechayut started strong in the first round. I think he landed a nice right straight, which got the knockdown, the first knockdown. Then in the later round, I think it was like round 3, he landed another straight jab from the right hand, which was a switch stance, by the way. And then got another knockdown, which was fantastic. You look at also that second knockdown came much later in the fight. I think it was like third round. But at that stage, he was actually on the back foot, like he was losing the round. He won the first round, lots of volume, lots of pressure, lots of aggression. That's what you get from Pechayut. In the second round, I think Masatoshi got back into the fight. I thought his body kicks was helping him. The left liver shots were helping him. He had sharper boxing. He actually backed up Pechayut a lot in that second round. So I actually had Hirai winning that second round. Then we got to the third round. It was even. And I had Masatoshi Hirai again backing him up. Great footwork, landing left straight to the body, good body shots with the left kicks. And backed him up, bro. And then Pechayut, for some reason, switched stances. I think because of the left kicks. And then landed the right straight jab, dropping Hirai again. So there was 2 knockdowns in the fight, round 1 and round 3. Which again you can't score against that, right? So yeah, he won the fight for me unanimously through those knockdowns. And I thought this fight was going to end in a finish. I'm not going to lie because of who's fighting, but yeah, I thought the performance was good from both guys. Well done to Pechayut because he had to come back from adversity in 2 rounds and still won the fight. So yeah, I'm impressed with the young man, 22 years old. I want to see him come back some more. I want to see him fight a lot more because he's a good character. He's fun to watch. Hirai, 36 years old. I don't know if we're going to see a lot of him after this. But we'll see what happens in the future. But keep a lookout for this name, for Pechayut. He's fun. He's really fun to watch. We'll keep it moving. Nakrob and Panrit. This was a fight. A lot of people thought it was a little bit of a robbery. And again, watching the fight back, I can low-key agree with you guys. Whoever thought that Nakrob won, I can sort of see it. I don't remember now if both guys got knockdowns in this fight. I think they both did. It was back and forth. It was back and forth. Both guys were landing big shots on each other. Both guys were busted up over the 3 rounds. Big shots on landing. But I will say a lot of the aggression came from Nakrob. I thought he really did a fantastic job at actually walking Panrit down for 3 rounds. But then Panrit did equally as good job as to move it up and actually survive that pressure and landed counter shots. So there's a lot of arguments to make for Nakrob to win this fight. He did land big blows. But I think he got knocked down, and it didn't count the knockdown. Nakrob landed on Panrit with that left hook in the 3rd round. So in my opinion, it should have been knocked down a piece, and then Nakrob winning for the aggression over the 3 rounds and creating this fight, creating the pace of the fight, creating the exchanges between the 2 guys. It came all from Nakrob. Panrit did a fantastic job at managing that pressure, and when he was moving backwards, he was moving well, staying safe. But he was getting tagged. And then again in the 3rd round, he was getting tagged a lot. And there was a nice sharp left hook from Nakrob. Boom! It literally pushed Panrit back and actually knocked him down. He went down. and then got back up like within seconds, and the referee didn't count it. So I thought that was a bit of a robbery. And because I didn't count that as a knockdown, Nakrab wins the fight. Pandit wins the fight from his knockdown, and he got earlier in the fight. So yeah, I think the what needs to be highlighted in the fight, and more so for the refereeing in the future, is what is a knockdown, what is a flash knockdown, and what isn't a knockdown. We need to understand the differences here, because when Pandit stumbled back and fell down, and he literally lay there for about half a second and then popped himself back up, right? You need to ask yourself, how the fuck did he fall? Nakrab didn't trip him, right? He didn't trip him with his feet. So the question is, what made Pandit stumble? And he didn't slip either. There was nothing there. You watch the replay back, his feet didn't go and then fell over, right? There was no slip and there was no trip from Nakrab. So what caused Pandit to fall backwards? What was it? What was the reason for him going backwards? Fucking Nakrab threw a left hook, caught him cleanly on the face, boom, like hit him, eyes shut closed from Pandit like this, and falls backwards. So in my understanding, the reason that Pandit fell to the ground is because he got punched in the face. That is a knockdown. Whether he falls for a second, whether he falls for 2 seconds, or a complete 8 count, or a 50th of a second, my guy fell down because he got punched in the face. That is a knockdown. I don't give a fuck if it's flash knockdown, it's a knockdown. For some knockdowns that are flash knockdowns, the fighters go down and pop back up. The referee still stops and goes, oh, and starts counting 1, 2. Even though the fighter is fine and they're standing like, yo, bro, I'm super chilled. They will say, you got knocked down. The guy did punch you. So what the fuck is the difference? What is the difference? Right? So in my opinion, Nakrab should have gotten the knockdown as well in the 3rd round, and would have made the fight a lot more even, and actually would have given they probably would have given it to Nakrab then. But yeah, at the end of the day, it was still a good fight for the fans. Both guys went to war. I mean, fuck it. Watching them back the second time, I was like, how on earth were both of them standing for 3 rounds like that? They were beating each other up. But yeah, big win for Pandit. Big win for Pandit. For Nakrab, that's now what, 4 losses, I think, 5 losses. It's not looking good. It's not looking good for Nakrab. And look, to be fair, he's 3 losses now. 2 wins in 6 fights. To be fair, he's lost to big names. Right, he's lost to the big names, so it's tough competition. It's a bit unfortunately lost in that manner, but okay, we'll see what happens going forward for him. And he's contracted, right? So that means Pandit might even get a bigger name next. Maybe even get a contract fight next. Let's see what happens. Mutikrai, he lost to Ayub Yassin. Yeah, you know, I kind of saw it coming. I was picking for Mutikrai in my mind. I was like, I want him to win. In my heart, I want him to win. But I was saying to myself, I can see this fight being tricky for Tikrai. Reason being, Yassin does a very good job at moving a lot and staying out of the way and never really being in danger. And so while he's moving back, he's popping shots, he's popping low kicks, he's attacking his opponent from the back foot. He's not just walking up. He's not just walking backwards and fighting scared and being defensive. He's actually hitting his opponent's back while going backwards. So I'm like, dude, I think he's actually fighting a fantastic fight here. I think he's fighting a fabulous fight. And I think Mutikrai does his best job when he's able to keep his opponents within his range, like in a phone booth kind of space. And if he can't do that, Mutikrai, then he's chasing down and he's losing the fight. And that's what happened here. I thought that for 3 rounds, Mutikrai couldn't really get into a rhythm. He just couldn't find the rhythm. And that's not because he sucks. I just think that Ayub Yassin is a difficult guy for people to catch. It's just hard for people to catch. He's typical Moroccan. Fancy footwork, kickboxing nature fight style. And stay safe, stay moving, don't stand still. That's how he wins these fights. I find that to beat him, you got to keep him in the clinch, or you got to kick his legs a lot, kick the body a lot. Don't head hunt. You fighters with good footwork, you need to punch them in the stomach, or you need to kick them in the legs, or you keep them in the clinch. You need to stop them from moving, basically. You can't chase the face. If you're going to chase their head hunting, they're probably going to counter strike you badly. They're probably going to outstrike you from the counter positions a lot. That's just how it works. So Mutikrai couldn't assert that dominance and he couldn't find his rhythm. So yeah, well done to Yassin. I thought he fought a very, very well game planned kind of fight against an aggressive fighter in Mutikrai. Rambong and Song Padin. Now see, this fights I couldn't pay attention to because this is actually where we got cut off our stream by One Championship. So that's actually where I couldn't pay attention. What I could remember was Rambong did a good job in the first round. I think he lost the second round. And I think the third round, I remember correctly, he won. I didn't watch this fight back actually. I just passed right through it. Um, so I'm gonna leave it. I'm gonna pass through it again. Chabakao versus Nazanin Husseini. Chabakao lost this fight because she didn't fight. Straight up, that's what happened here. She lost this fight because she didn't fight. I've watched Chabakao now fight 6 times in 7 times in one championship, including this fight here. And of those fights that I've watched Chabakao fight, she doesn't fight the way she fought in this fight. Chabakao is usually super aggressive. She's on you. She throws a lot of clinching positions. She does a lot of elbows. Out in the open, she's blasting kicks like there's no tomorrow. Body shotting you, hooking you, getting you back into the ropes, blasting those kicks again. And in this fight, she did nothing like that. Absolutely nothing. And when they're out in the open, she was just taking pictures, standing there, like waiting. I was like, what is she doing? You don't want to wait against a volume striker. You know what I mean? Nazanin's a volume striker. She just throws high kick, low kick, high kick, and then get tired in round 2 and tired in round 3. And to be fair, okay, she fought well in the third round, but also Chabakao didn't do anything to make her tired. Didn't do anything to stop the way Nazanin fight. Didn't do anything to change the pace, change the outward, change the outlook. Nothing. She did absolutely nothing. I was like, why Chabakao just standing there? She doesn't fight this way. I've never seen her fight this way before. I know she's a 5-round specialist, but she's fought now a lot of 3-round fights in one championship and in the smaller gloves. And it's also not your debut in this small gloves as Nazanin's debut. You know, put it to the cleaners. Teach her a lesson. Did absolutely nothing of that nature. And that's why I was like, something's weird in this card, bro. Something is fucking off here. And turns out there was some weird things happening on the night. Because of the bad judging, it made me feel. I said it the whole fight. I was like, Chabakao was throwing this fight, guys. I can clearly see it. She just doesn't fight this way. Her face looks like she's just not in it. She's just, the killer instinct in her eyes is normally always there. It wasn't there. It looked like she was just chilling. And I thought to myself, she's throwing this fight. She's absolutely throwing this fight. And I'm not gonna be. You guys have to prove me wrong. At the moment, I'm not gonna be. I'm going to stick with my opinion. I don't think I'm going to be thrown off that opinion anytime soon. I feel like Chabakao threw this fight. Taking nothing away from Nazanin. She fought the way she was supposed to. But I feel like Chabakao should be smoking Nazanin every day of the week. Anyway, let's go. Muhammad Ridwan beat Riku Ito. I saw this fight. Muhammad Ridwan fought a good first round. Personally, I think rounds 2 and 3 he lost. I'm going to say it now. I thought he lost the second and third. And I think Ito, at 16 years old, actually put the beat down on him. And again, poor judging. I know I said it on the live. Ridwan did a good job in the later rounds to mitigate the danger. But watching the fight back, I thought Riku beat him up in round 2. In round 3, Ridwan didn't really do much then, but just clinching and staying safe and trying to not take too much damage anymore. You can't really score for that, right? But they did anyway. So yeah, I thought that was a poor decision in my opinion. But okay, chat, that is my time with that fight card. Give me your thoughts in total. What do you guys make of one championship, one Friday fights, 143? If you have any thoughts about that fight card, I'd love to hear what you guys make of it. The robberies, you think it was robberies? Let me know which ones you think were robberies and which one you think it weren't, and also why you think they were robberies. But for now, I'll keep moving to the next fight card. I'm going to talk about some of the fights at the UFC Fight Night, Strickland versus Hernandez, but I'm not going to talk about the whole card. I'm just going to talk about the some of the fights on the main card. Really, I'm not even going to go to the prelims. There were some good fights there. So with this one, we'll start at the main event. Sean Strickland beat Anthony Fluffy Hernandez. I thought he fought fabulously, bro. Typical Sean Strickland performance. Outboxed him, out-jabbed him, out-tipped him. And even when Hernandez wanted to wrestle, couldn't really. And I think that's what I always feared for him in this fight. That's why you saw when I said last week in the preview that if Hernandez can take him down, I think he wins. But if he can't take him down, which I felt was going to be the case, I think Strickland's going to beat him. And that's what happened. Strickland, people forget, man, he can wrestle. Like Strickland can wrestle, guys. He's not just a boxer. This man can wrestle. And that's what he did in this. His takedown defense is fantastic. I mean, Dricus du Plessis is a fantastic wrestler and a good jiu-jitsu guy. And he couldn't even keep Strickland down. So that just tells you the level at what Strickland's at in terms of his wrestling, guys. He's top level. He just doesn't want to show it because he wants to beat people up rather than wrestle them, right? So I always thought that Fluffy Hernandez wasn't going to be able to take him down. And if he did, he's never a hard time holding him there. So that just meant that the fight's going to stay on the feet, and the longer it's going to stay on the feet, I think Strickland is going to beat him. And that's what he did. I think for 3 rounds, Strickland was out jabbing him, keeping the fight where he wanted to, and moved him around. And Fluffy fought like he made it a dogfight. He boxed really hard. He catched Strickland with a couple of shots. He was making it an ugly fight. And Strickland gave him respect for that. But you always just felt that that wasn't Hernandez's wheelhouse. You always just felt that out in the open here, when we're boxing and we're popping shots on each other, you always just felt that Hernandez isn't the most comfortable here. He will fight you there. He's a fighter by nature. He's going to fight with you in those positions, but it's not his domain, right? He's going to fight you because he has no choice now. Strickland isn't giving him a chance to be taken down, so I'm going to have to box with you. So he never really looked comfortable. He looked like he was fighting the fight, but never looked comfortable. Fluffy, when he's taking you down, is a different breed. You can see he's not even breathing heavy. He's just like, this is my world when he's taking you down. But when they're boxing, you could see he wasn't comfortable. His breathing was out of sync. He wasn't the most relaxed there. And that finishing sequence from Sean Strickland was beautiful. He cracked him a few times in the second round to the body that almost got the finish. I thought that third round knee, I was like, oh, well done, Sean. Like, the dude's reminding people why he's still considered to be a top of the food chain, or at least in the top of the division. It's a big win for him. And I like that he called out Khamzat Chimaev. I don't think that's going to be the fight. I think, to be quite honest, I think who's it now? We have Khamzat. He's probably going to fight against Nasruddin Imavov. Rikus du Plessis probably going to get Brennan Allen. We've got Izzy and Joe Pfeiffer. Who else is there? Sean Strickland. He's number 3. He just fought Fluffy. He was number 4. So Strickland should be getting either the loser of Imavov and Chimaev, where he gets the winner of DDP and Fluff and what's his name, Brendan Allen. The point is that this division right now is so stacked that literally either one of them can make a call for a title shot, literally. But it all depends on what they do in the next fight, right? I don't know if Strickland has fought Whittaker yet, but I don't know if Whittaker did enough to deserve the fight at the top of the division right now. You know what I mean? He's gonna have to fight someone lower first before getting back there again. But Strickland is in a very good seat at this stage in his career to make an argument for a title fight very soon. But he's going to have to, in my opinion, go through another one first. I don't think he's warranted to fight for the title immediately. He's going to have to go through another one. But for Fluffy, ain't no shame, bruh. It just shows you where he's at and like how much more he has to level up. And I think we will see him back very, very soon. Jeff Neal, hands of steel, getting KO'd by Urus Medic. First round KO by Urus Medic. Urus Medic, good fighter. I know AD was talking about Jeff Neal, but I just felt that Jeff Neal's time is up. You know what I mean? I don't know if Jeff Neal can deal with top guys. And Urus Medic is not even in top rankings yet, right? And Medic beat him. And that saying that thing about Medic not being in the rankings is nothing to do with Medic being a shitty fighter. I think Medic is definitely a ranked fighter in this division. You just got to give him more ranked opponents. Give him the time. I don't know if he's a champion, but I do believe that he can make himself into the top 10. I can see it. I can see him cracking the top 10. And then we'll take it from there. But for now, big win. That left hook. The time of the left hook was beautiful because he was cracking up Jeff Neal. And then he went into the pocket and kept his guard up. And then timed it. He waited for Neal to committed, eat this counter. Beautiful display of boxing from Medic. But that's what you're going to get from Medic. He's a good fighter. Very good on the microphone. I'm calling his shot. I like what I see. I think in time, he's going to crack that top 10, guys. Big finish. Jeff Neal, there was a brutal KO. I don't know how long he's going to take off now. But honestly, at 36 years old, I would say, Jeff Neal, pick your fights carefully next. I know that Medic was supposed to be a walkthrough for him because he's an unranked guy. But Medic isn't an unranked fighter that's shit. You know what I mean? Medic is a very, very top level unranked guy. He could easily get a number next to his name. Easily, without a problem. So Jeff Neal didn't lose to someone that's a little bit of a nobody. He lost to a very good fighter. So I just think Neal's going to have to, next fight needs to be careful. Needs to be a bit of a favorable matchup for him. Or he's going to have to basically hang up those gloves, guys. What do you think? Let me know in the comment section. Dan Ige, 50K, now known as 100K. Sorry, someone's going to knock on my door now. He lost to my guy, Milky Zale Costa. Great win for Milky Zale. I thought that he looked fabulous in there. Dan Ige, I kind of like lost my support. Not support, but I lost my initial. I still support him as a guy, as a fighter, but I didn't feel that he's gonna make anything big of his career after losing to Pitbull. When he lost to Pitbull, I was like, I don't know if I can get behind Dan Ige anymore. Especially in the manner that he lost. I was like, yeah, that's very upsetting the way he lost that fight. And that made me realize he doesn't have the stuff. He's a fun guy, but he doesn't have the stuff after losing that fight. And Milkizel Costa, he's growing. Nice and big for the featherweight division. Had a good run in 2025. Started the year with a bang. Spinning back kick to the head, knockout. Brah. Big win for Milkizel Costa. Good character. I think over time, he's going to be a prospect here again. Let me just look at that featherweight rankings for a second, because I do believe currently the featherweight rankings, outside of the top 5, top 4, there isn't really much going on in the division. So if you look at the division right now, I think Milkizel Costa can make a big shout for getting in there. I would say give him Patricio Pitbull next. I think Emmett's got a fight coming up now. I would say give him Patricio Pitbull. I think he beats Pitbull. If he beats Pitbull, which I think he does. Brian Ortega, let's go, bro. I think Milkizel Costa doesn't have to rush. Doesn't. The division is ranked in such a way that if he beats Patricio Pitbull, he goes up to fight someone like Allen or Brian Ortega. He beats Brian Ortega, he jumps the line immediately and says, give me Jermaine Sterling. You know what I'm saying? That's how the division is built right now. I think from number 11, which is Josh Emmett, all the way to number 5, which is Jermaine Sterling. I think anyone can jump anyone there with one win. So I think Milkizel Costa, that this takes him to a 4 or 5 fight win streak, if I'm not mistaken. Might even be more than that. Let me just double check here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8 fights. 6 fight win streak. So yeah, I thought it was 5, 6. So he's becoming a noticeable name to the point where UFC can't ignore the guy. Like they're gonna have to start putting him in bigger fights now. And this was a main card fight as well. So yeah, don't be surprised to see Milkizel Costa up in and around the rankings this year, guys. He's probably gonna get one now after beating the ranked guy in Dan Ige. But anyway, deserves the performance bonus. Sergey Spivak and Ante Delija. Great fight for the heavyweight prospect, even though there wasn't a knockout. This is the one fight I wasn't upset about. Heavyweight's not going to the distance, not going to the decision. The fact that they went all the way, I thought it was nice because the display was quite good. Both guys didn't take their time. They were wanting to really beat each other up. Both guys landed big shots on each other. But I think Sergey Spivak's wrestling is what actually won him the fight. When they were striking, I think he was losing that battle. Even though he landed big shots on Delija, he landed big shots on him. I think Delija landed more big shots on Spivak. But then that resulted in Spivak taking him down and then winning the fight in those exchanges there. So yeah, great fight, great display. Spivak deserves the win, and I think he just kind of stays where he's at. I don't know if he goes up. He stays where he's at. Delija, kind of the same thing. I think he stays where he's at. But let's see what happens going forward for the guys, right? Jacoby Smith versus Josiah Errol. Yeah, just like the SPV said, Errol's probably going to get finished early because of the unfortunate brain damage he had suffered previously and going through all the brain surgery. And yeah, it just looked like he wasn't going to get the job done. And UFC doing a whole thing about his recovery from the brain surgery. And then Jacoby Smith still to punch him the way he did at the end of the fight, I thought was a little bit disgusting, I've been honest with you. It left a bit of a sour taste in my mouth, feeling like I don't actually want to support Jacoby Smith. Yeah, fuck him. I'm going to call him Jacob Smith, right? Because he won the fight. Jarrell was getting pieced up the whole time, and then he shot for a takedown, landed on the bottom, got reversed. Jacob Smith was on top of him, and then like landed these shots to the head. Right, he was knocked out after the third shot already. Right, like he was out cold. Then he started landing elbows, bigger shots, like bigger, more devastating shots. The referee jumps in between them, and even the referee didn't do a good job in stopping them. The referee puts his hands in like, oh, stop. No, my bro, I was the referee. I'm jumping on fucking Jacob Smith, bro. I'm spearing him off him. I'm gonna spear you off this, bro. I'm not gonna tell you, yo, stop. Fuck that, my friend. I'm gonna jump on you, right? And I would have probably hit him myself. Like, what the fuck you doing? Like, I know in the past, like, yeah, the extra follow-ups are there, but for fuck's sakes, the whole UFC did a whole promotion and a video and everything for this man's brain damage and his brain surgeries and the recovery and making it back. So everybody knows that he's got that thing on his head, like he just like the metal plates is there. Just hold up. Like if you knock him out, you knock him out. You don't have to further mooding him. Because then what happened was you saw Gerald when the fight was done, now the man was like crawling on the floor there, doing all these seizure-like movements. And I'm like, now what? Now what if he had further damaged his brain? You know, and then Jacob was like, yeah, I'm the guy, I'm that guy, I'm the bigger guy in the division, I'm the guy for the division. It's like, come on, bro, you're a bit of an asshole in my opinion for doing what you did. You already finished him. You didn't have to do any more than that. Because it wasn't like Jacoby's face was far away. He was literally over him like this. You could see him that there was no eyes. He even said body went limp, so I knew I had the job done. Like, what the fuck, bro? You know what I mean? You could have stopped long time. You would have actually gained more respect if you had just stopped. Like you could have seen the guy was done. So it took away from his performance because of that ending. Kind of made me think, I don't want to get behind this guy now because now it shows me his character. But anyway, in terms of fight performance, it wasn't even that great either. He's very slow. He's a juiced up fucking welterweight, short, stocky welterweight. A little bit of like a Tyron Woodley second coming, if you will. In terms of his performance, he's powerful, but I don't think there's anything there to write home about. I think that the division is so stacked in this welterweight division. But I think a lot of the guys walk right through him. Yeah, I'm sorry to say, but I think a lot of the guys walk right through Jacoby Smith. But anyway, we'll keep it moving because if I talk about him more, I'm just going to say some more ugly things on the stream. So let's keep it moving. Zach Reese and Michal Pereira. As even though there was no finish in this fight, it was a little bit entertaining. I still can't get behind Michal Pereira's fight style. I still think he's a little bit underwhelming. And Zach Reese, I can't finish him, proves my point why I also can't get behind Zach Reese either. Both guys were throwing big shots on each other, but they fought a tight fight after the first round. I think Zach Reese, the fight was there for him to take. He didn't take it. And that just leaves again me going, don't want to watch these guys fight again. I expected Zach Reese to finish him and he didn't. And Pereira, he did a better job not getting tired this time the way he did in his past fights, but still slowed down so much that he didn't even get any finish. He couldn't even go forward himself. But he was tagging Reese. He was catching him with some big shots, and it made for a bit of a spectacle. It did. Even though it was no finish, I think guys did put on a very good fight in the fight card. I thought it was a good curtain raiser for the main card. Good curtain raiser. So I really enjoyed it. But I don't know if I want to watch them fight again. Because I don't know if they both can even get to the rankings. Just can't see it. The division is too stacked. Give me your thoughts in the comment section, guys. The rest of the fight card I didn't really watch. I think I watched Ode Osborne and Alibi. I remember I told you guys. I know PV said that don't let the fight the record fool you of Ode Osborne, but I've watched a lot of Ode Osborne and he's hit and a miss for me. He's good, and then I also see him not good. And this fight he fought great, but he fought against a guy that I always felt was going to be tricky for him, Alibi. And Alibi's a fantastic fighter, striking and grappling. And I felt that was going to be tricky for Ode Osborne, and it was. And that's why I thought he would lose the fight. I think Alibi wasn't able to take him down and control him, and he did that. And Alden Correa, I thought he was going to be a superior boxer. He did exactly what I thought he was going to do. He outboxed Gurule and did it in a fantastic fashion as well. So keep a lookout for Alden Correa. I think this guy's going to be a fun guy to watch in the future. Possibly even get to the top 5 of the flyweight division. And then I didn't really watch the other fights. So that's my take on this Friday, on this UFC Fight Night. I think Strickland had a brilliant display. Would love to watch him to see who he gets next. I really want to see who he gets next. I don't agree with this character, but I can look past it because I just want to watch people fight. And straight up, let me know in the comments, guys, who you think Strickland should be fighting next. So what you guys can expect next? Why am I doing this? For fighting with friends. Let me bring it up on screen for you guys. So up next we have UFC Mexico, Moreno versus Kavanaugh. We will be live for that on Sunday at 3 a.m. South African time. We will be releasing the preview for Moreno versus Kavanaugh UFC Mexico tomorrow, which will be on Tuesday. Keep a lookout for that. It will be around the same time as this video coming out. Wednesday we will be doing. Actually, Wednesday will be a pass. Wednesday will be a day that we will pass. Might do something else on that day. We'll see what comes up. Maybe there's news I can comment on. And then on Thursday, we'll be doing a preview of One Friday Fights 144. Let me bring it up for you guys on screen and you can have a look. That'll be Thursday. And then we will also do the preview with our one and only, I say our, with the one and only ESR like we did last week. So keep a lookout for that. So the preview will be on Thursday. Then on Friday, we'll be live with this particular fight card for One Friday Fights 144. Again, ESR may or may not join us for that one. Keep a lookout. But I think he's definitely going to join us for the preview. And then, like I said, on Sunday, we'll be live for UFC's Fight Night. Mexico. What's his name? Moreno versus Kavanaugh. But okay, chat, that is my time. If you made it this far, please don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Let people know we are popping off at Friday Fighting with Friends. And again, love the support from all of you that has shown us over the weekend. Really makes me so happy. I didn't even go to the other ticket tape. But that's okay. Guys, have a fantastic week. Have a good Monday. Have a good evening, morning, wherever you guys are watching from. And you will catch us on the next one. Cheers, everybody. Much love.